All right, what's up, Chuck? All right, we got Chuck out here working on stripping the dash down because we're gonna flock the dash. So Chuck, go ahead and pull that piece off. What's wrong? What happened? Cut yourself?
No.
All right. So put that down. Gonna pull that portion off. There you go. Boom. We don't need vents, air vents in a race car. He's gonna take off that last bolt there. Yeah. We got action. Boom, stripped down. All right, there you have it. So we're gonna replace the vents here with a solid piece of plastic. And on the driver's side here, this vent's gonna have the on and start button. This one's gonna have the switches for the lights and for fan override, stuff like that. And this one will just be a blank for right now until I figure something out. But yeah, that's what we want to do, kind of strip it down. Yeah, Chuck over here dancing. All right, so check it out. Chuck has got the dashboard completely stripped. No vents, no nothing. So I'm replacing these with plastic panels. Replace this one with a plastic panel. And we're gonna flock the dash black. For those of you who don't know what flocking is, we're about to show you. So I've seen a couple guys do this on YouTube, but the problem I find with how they do it is they're missing one essential thing, and that's to clean it. And they say, oh, clean it with soap and water and, you know, grease and wax remover, which is cool, but I use something called TSP because these dashboards, they come in a mold and there's mold release on them, you know, so you have to remove the mold release for a nice long, see, trisodium phosphate. You can get this at any Home Depot. So you want to remove the mold release, and trisodium phosphate will get that off. Absolutely get it off. So after we wash it with trisodium phosphate and really get that nice and clean, then we take the grease and wax remover, wipe it on down, and really get all the little bits and pieces. And then we put the glue on, and then we flock it. All right, guys, so we're working on this dash and replacing these vent holes with some plastic. All right, so what I did was I cut this piece of carton paper, which I absolutely love for my prototyping, and I cut it exactly to the size right there. Then I traced it out onto this black piece of plastic right here. Then we're gonna come to the bandsaw and cut it out on the bandsaw. And I'll show you guys how to curve it to the shape that you need, because it needs a little bit of a curve. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that with the propane torch and an old pipe. All right, let's go. All right, so we cut the plastic out and we rounded the edges to match the rounded edges of the, so you see, kind of fits in there, but it's rocking around because it's still flat. Okay, so because we want it to bend, see, this is like the textured side, and we want it to bend where it's go from flat to like this. Now, it seems like you would heat this side to get it to bend that way, but you're actually going to heat this side here, and for some reason, it just wants to curl away from the shape. So what you're going to do, you adjust the adjustable wrench, and you hold it just like this. All right. And you're gonna stick the glove on, boom, and you take it, and my propane torch has an automatic setting here, so I could turn it on and leave it on. Now what you're gonna do is, this is very important, you gotta move it around, okay? You gotta move it around. Don't let it get in one place because it'll just burn the plastic. You're gonna start seeing the plastic start to bend from the heat, okay? You do this just for a few seconds. It doesn't have to get crazy hot, okay? Okay, so it's gotten warm. Now you take it down here real quick and you start bending it. All right, on the pipe. Started to bend. All right, but when you bend it, you gotta hold it. That's why you need the gloves until it cools off. Let's turn that off. Now, first attempt, I wouldn't bend it too much. I would just give it a slight little bend at first, and then go try to fit it. Okay, see, now it's bent. So let's go see if this fits the way we want it to. Okay, and oh, almost. Just needs a little shave down here at the bottom to get it to fit in snug. Okay, let's do that. But it looks like the shape is pretty close as far as the bend of it. So let's go ahead and shave this and then see if we can get it to fit perfectly. All right, man, so I have been fabbing. So I got this thick chunk that I flattened the mounting points for it to go onto the bracket. So I have one bracket on here already that I did that, you know, but it's not flush. And what I should have did was get it flush before I drill the hole. Once again, Tony jumping the gun. So I might end up just flipping it around and using it a different way. But on this side, got this. I want it to be a little cleaner than that big old chunk, so I cut off this part in between here. So boom, it's gonna go just like that. All right, this little edge right here, I'm gonna go ahead and flap wheel that off. Then on the back here, I'm gonna go ahead and draw around this, and then mark 2 holes, drill the holes, and then from the front, and then mark this hole and drill it and then hold it in place. And then from the holes in front here, I'm gonna drill it through and then tap it and attach them. And that way this plate won't go anywhere. It's already pretty good this way, but you see it's got a little rock to it, just a little rock. And these will kill that, and it also give the superchargers nowhere to go. They'll be totally on there secure. All right, so that's the first bracket on. I didn't bolt it down all the way. I just kind of rested it in place, but you see how it sits flush, so there's no strain on it. So there will be no back and forth like this, and it will be no back and forth that way because I got the bolts down there. So yeah, and then I can finally cut these to shape. So I want it to be the same shape as the housing here, and then I gotta take all of this off and then cut these little corners that I marked out off so that it'll start to look a little bit more clean. All right, let's go. All right, so there they are. So now we're at the stage where I got to remove this front plate again. It's always fun. And drilling the holes for the bolts to go through. And then once I drill the holes for the bolts to go through, then we'll go ahead and put it back on again, tap it, and then put the bolts in. And then that front plate will be in its home where it's supposed to be. That's pretty much what I'm gonna end up doing today. I thought I was gonna be able to get to the coils, but yo, like this process of like fabbing stuff takes a lot of time, man. You're measuring once, measuring twice. So enough jaw jacking, man. Let's get to it. All this fat mouthing. So there it is. The brackets are in. So I got to figure out. Probably what I'm gonna end up doing is drilling through this plate and then using this to mount the supercharger instead, so it's all tied in. Because as you can see, trying to get them to mate together when this is threaded and this is threaded is kind of not a good idea. So that's how it looks from the front. I'm thinking to make these countersunk so that the bolts kind of go in smooth and flush, but it might not matter either. But that sucker's in there. Ain't no moving going on. All right. So I'm gonna take it all the way back off again. Yep, that's right. Take it all the way back off again, and then shape it. All right. So we got the plate off, and we drill the holes for the cross braces and whatever. So now I'm just gonna do some drawing to cut this down because it's real bulky and I don't like it. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and cut it down real quick. Start drawing on this. We got the front plate about to get shaped. This is the shape I decided to go with. A little beef down here, arc up, a little beef down there. That's where the brace is attached to, so I left a little beef down there. And then you got the... Now I have to figure out whether or not I'm gonna machine out an area just right here for the coolant holes. But before I do that, I might end up doing something custom with the coolant neck, but I don't know yet. But yeah, let's get to cutting on this. Okay, so there's the bracket cut out. And as you can see, I went ahead and just smoothed it out a little bit with the flap disc. You know, just try to clean it up a little bit. And that's still the original face on it, but that is not. Yeah. So that's the bracket. And these are the supercharger brackets that I'm cut. As you can see. This could get cut a little bit more. I just was like, I'd rather have it too thick than too thin. So it could use a little bit more cutting. And then under here, I left it just at the face of this because I didn't want to go so far in that it's like a thin strip and then we lose that gusset right there. Same thing here. This gusset is right there. And so I left that little area on just in case, just because. You know, but yeah, and so you don't see that little square corner down there anymore. As you can see, you don't see that square corner like you did before. It's all smooth down there, so it'll have a better look. Let me remove the supercharged. I'll give you guys a better look. So here's a better look at it here. Okay, so there's a big chunk that came out here, and then up here. You see why I didn't want to bring it down too much is because that's where the bracket mounts to. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Couldn't tell you how long I've been itching to do that. You know. Yeah, so you still got the full gusset under here. Still got the full gusset under there. Alright. Boom. All right, so we just finished with the plate back there, got it all shaped up, but I'm gonna take this to the sandblaster, get them to blast this off, get it back nice and clean, and then I'm gonna machine this one. I gotta make some sort of holding fixture to hold it in place because I can't hold it in a vise because I want this truly flat. Me sanding it and all that other stuff is just, it's a real pain. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take it from the lowest point and then just flatten the whole thing just like that. I'm going to solder and I'm going to practice soldering. I got me some helping hands this time from Harbor Freight. I got this Weller 7200 see it? Soldering gun. Only thing left I need to get here is a sponge and a little Scotch-Brite to keep the tip clean. After attempting twice to solder with this Weller 7200 soldering iron, I even made my own tip. This is a hunk of trash. Doesn't melt, it doesn't get hot enough. It only has a 1 minute duty cycle, so that, you know, by the time it gets hot enough, it shuts off. It's the stupidest thing ever. Anyway, since the soldering iron isn't working properly, I'm just going to start to kind of put the wires where they're supposed to go in the engine bay. So I'm gonna use the factory plug back there, but for right now I'm just kind of mocking everything up. So I'm gonna feed both of them. I removed the loom off of it, so this is the harness. I'm gonna remove the loom off the other one too, and then jam it through the hole and start to kind of float the wires around to where they're gonna go, and then cut them to length. I think that's something that kind of want to get to now. We got them, got the injectors loosely wired to the MS3. So the positive, or the red, is for power, and basically what the MS3 does is ground out the injector so that it'll fire. All right. So the way that the MS3 is labeled is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? But you would think it'd be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I'm forgetting my alphabet. Anyway, it doesn't go like that. It actually goes by the HO firing order. Okay, so A would be here, but B would be 3. C is 7. And then actually, it's actually written on the wires if you look really closely. I'm pretty sure this camera won't be able to get it, but you get the idea. So, you know, so you do it according to your firing order. So whatever car you have. So here on the ground, I got a bunch of the excess wires, which may come in handy later down the road. So yeah, that's what so far for the injectors. So we got the battery box in. I just haven't secured it down. Well, I did secure it down, sorry. What I mean is this box is not actually this outside part is not actually attached. It's just the base. So what I was gonna do, and I'm kind of upset that I put the tank in now, because now that I think about it, I wanted to weld the nuts under there to the floor, and then that way I won't have to worry about those rods backing out or anything like that. I ain't trying to go out like that dude in the viral video. You know what I mean? So I would weld it today, but there's an issue. I do not have a long enough extension cord for my welder to get over here. So I have these, some square tubing that I cut, and I drilled the holes so they're gonna kind of mount in the back here, kind of like that and like that. And the water meth tank will mount on that right over the suspension there. Yeah, and then the lines will all run down the passenger side. Water meth, I think I'll run the electrical lines right along the side, right along the little floorboard right there by the sill, right up to the computer, which is over there. As you can see, I just quickly temporarily mounted the computer there in the corner. Wasn't glad to see that. You know. And that's one of the harnesses. Now, like I said, everything's being mocked up. I got this huge 2-gauge power cable, which is way too long for this car, which, you know, it's a good thing because I'll have a lot of extra. But yeah, so the idea is to go from the battery box down right here, and then over to this area right here, where I'm gonna have starting solenoid to clean it all up. This one works. I just took it out of the car before I junked it, the convertible. So we got a power cable coming through there, through this same hole here, to go to the solenoid. And they got so we got quite a few wires coming through that. It's gonna come through that rubber grommet. So I think I'm gonna end up having to drill it out a little bigger or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. Now I'm thinking that might not be a good idea to put it there, because I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because sometimes these solenoids, if you try to jump it, they'll spark. And, you know, the fuel's here, and, you know, it's right here. So I don't know if it's a good idea to put it here or not. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, but it's just something to think about. All right, so that just about does it for today. Messing with the wiring, messing with the battery box, just starting to jump into that world. The intake has been cut to shape. The mounting plate for the pulleys have been cut to shape, so we're looking good. Only thing I didn't get a chance to do today was make the, I wanted to make some sort of fixture to hold this bracket so that I can machine that area flat. But other than that, oh man, we moving and grooving. All right, we moving and grooving. I've been working all week, but you know, I'm just dropping a video today, so. But yeah, man, thank you for checking it out. Thank you for all those who've been on junkyarddogs.com. I appreciate y'all. And until next time, y'all, junkyard dogging. Woo!